Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Portal Masters, Robert Welkner here with another CoinOpTV live and interactive on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoinOpTV. We're going to be discussing Skylanders Academy, the brand new show that dropped this week on Netflix. Matt and I actually did a recap or first impressions of Skylanders Academy's episode 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On today, we want to talk about episodes 6, 7, and 8. I had to think about which fingers to use there. Let me introduce Matt. Good to see you, sir.
It's good to be back. More Academy, more to talk about. Let's get into it.
Yes. So we are live and interactive. I haven't really slept a whole lot because I've been binge watching cartoons. I got my Titanfall 2 t-shirt on there. We got Skyrim remastered. We got so many things happening. Lots of reviews, lots of gameplay, lots of stuff going on. So apologies if I push a wrong button or say the wrong thing or pronounce something incorrectly. But Matt's here to help be my anchor, right?
I guess that's one way of looking at it, as long as they don't drag you down too much.
No, we lift you up. Yesterday we had a great show. Thanks a bunch, all you Portal Masters tuning in. We talked about some of our impressions, and now we're kind of continuing on over. We got Jesse in chat, Ron, Rohan, Logan, of course, Matt's in chat as well. Chloe, Reginald, Lewis, Emoji wants a shout out. All right, let's talk some Skylanders Academy. The Netflix TV show. So we're not going to do a whole, impressions of everything. We just want to kind of dive into episode 6, 7, and 8. If you missed it, some bullet points. Some of the voices we love, some of them we hate. Overall, I think Matt and I both agree the show is fun, entertaining. Matt, what am I missing? What's a bullet point I might be missing?
There needs to be more sooner.
More sooner, yes. We got to wait a whole year after waiting 5 years for a cartoon, and we got to wait another year for season 2.
At least we know there is a season 2 coming.
Yes, and I actually chatted with Eric Rogers, the producer of the show, and he said that season 2 is twice as better, twice as fun, 2 times more exciting, whatever it is he said. He said twice better than the first season. So whatever they're doing in the first season, we're going to get double of that. Maybe double Skylanders, maybe double bad guys, maybe double jokes. I don't know. It's like a candy bar, like a Twix candy bar or something. So, okay, let me get into the synopsis here. So, episode 6 is called Space Invaders. Stealth Elf finds trouble when she gets stuck inside Chaos's mind, and she has to convince the others that she's trapped so they can help her escape. So now we're going to get sort of another solo episode, or, maybe not a solo, but a featured episode, character featured with Stealth Elf. I'm a fan of Ashley Tisdale doing the Stealth Elf voice. I think Matt was a little on the fence with her take on that. Is that what I remember from yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, the more I listen to it, the more I'm letting it grow on me, letting it become Stealth Elf's voice. Like I said, I've just heard her voice for too long in other projects, and so it was hard to differentiate for me at first, because it wasn't what I was expecting. But yeah, it works. I'm okay.
We're getting into it there. Let's see. Trash Boat in chat says, "Keep it up, Rob." All right. Logan says, "I've watched 8 episodes so far." Cool. Then you're all caught up with what we're going to talk about. And Toy Movie Game Bros in chat says, "Doom Rayers." I'm not sure if that's a play on some sort of joke I'm supposed to get. Okay. So let's see. Okay, Matt. So we get Stealth Elf getting a chance to shine. First of all, something that's a little weird is everybody's got sort of nicknames in the show. They call like Pop Fizz, they just call him Pop, and Stealth Elf they call Elf. Is that bugging you at all? It's kind of bugging me a bit. I want the names.
Yeah, like it's weird, but at the same time, the more I thought about it, like if you did live with these characters day in, day out, you probably wouldn't just refer to them as Stealth Elf the entire time or Pop Fizz the entire time. They're treating a lot of it more as first name, last name type of thing, with the exception of like Eruptor. I mean, he only has one name, but even then, they gave him a nickname of E. Like Stealth Elf always refers to him as E, and it's Elf and JV, and like I said, yeah, they all have nicknames, and I guess it's kind of interesting to think about like that. That's how they probably would live together if they conversed all the time. So it makes sense, like, in my mind.
Yeah, Skylanders Academy has almost turned into like a college dorm room where everybody's just like very familiar. Everybody knows each other. We're just peeking in to their existence. So, all right. So, what'd you think of Space Invaders? We get Stealth Elf teleports inside of Chaos's head. You know, I kind of thought there'd be a little more inside of his head than just some weird blurry blue objects floating around. So, what was your take on this episode?
It was interesting. It got. It sounds weird to say, but it got sci-fi real fast. Like, I know, obviously, Skylanders and the Skylands are all made up, and they kind of do whatever they want with all their powers and stuff anyway. But this just felt like it went one step further, and she was teleported into his head, and like this isn't like a normal power that we knew Chaos had or anything. Like, we don't know exactly how it happened. And even when resolved, it kind of just, undid itself. We didn't. It didn't really give us an explanation, but it was a fun episode. I like to see that each little piece in Chaos's brain, like they weren't all connected, like you would expect a brain to be. But I like that each little piece kind of controlled a different part of him, whether it be speech or his arm or whatever the case may be.
It was funny. It almost seemed like she was like playing a video game. I think that was even kind of a joke where she had controls and she was inside. Kind of reminded me of like, when I forget if it was Skylanders Giants, but you got sort of in the top head of like an Archean robot and you kind of controlled them around a bit. It reminded me of that. Andrew in chat says, hello, Rob. Skylanders Kid said, I want to see Chop Chop. Yeah, maybe we'll see Chop Chop in episode soon. Ramir is excited that Dan the Minecart is in one of the episodes. Yes, that was fun as well. Let's talk a little bit more. We got some more of the Doom Raiders. We got to see, it seems like the Doom Raiders now are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. Wolfgang is prominently featured in the episode. He's kind of, him and Chaos have a little tiff, and Choppy Mage, and they're all just kind of hanging out in Chaos's lair. What'd you think of that, hanging out with all the bad guys?
I think it was probably a very good move on their part to give us a wider range of the bad side, as opposed to it just being chaos, which, is good and all, which we enjoy, but otherwise it was always going to be the Skylanders are over here doing something, and then Chaos comes in and he fails and we go on. But now we have this wider cast with all the Doom Raiders. Well, actually only about half the Doom Raiders we've seen so far. But it gives us more options. You can focus more on Wolfgang. You could focus more on Golden Queen for one episode. And switch it up instead of just seeing Chaos all the time.
Yeah, it's good to have a good variety. It gave Glumshanks different characters to sort of play off of, and Chaos, sure. and in a way you almost feel like sorry for Chaos. You're like, well, gee, he's being bullied by even real villains when he's just kind of a villain poser or something. So yeah, don't get caught in the middle. If you're a villain, be a villain. Don't be bullied by the other villains, although we don't encourage bullying and stuff like that. So overall, Space Invaders, was this a fun episode for you? Did you get a hoot?
Yeah, I did enjoy that episode.
Yeah, I'm down with Elf. Some call her Stealth Elf. Apparently Elf now is good enough. Starting to appreciate the teleportation. I guess if they re-release her as a figure or something like that, now I want to see teleportation as a power for Stealth Elf, since they've modified. If they're going to modify characters' abilities in the show, somehow I want to see that carry over into toys and figures and upgrades. Matt? Do you think that's a thing? Will we get a Soul Gem teleportation device?
It's very possible, but at the same time, like I said, I kind of mentioned this yesterday too. I think it's going to be a mechanic that would be hard to control in the game, and so if they can find a way to control it enough, that is easy enough for everybody to work with, then yeah, I suppose we could see that.
All right, we're going to talk about another episode. Let's see in chat. Richard says the voice change of Glumshanks, those bugs me. I'm with you. Norm Macdonald, funny actor. New voice of Glumshanks, not really doing it for me. Andrew mentioned Dreamcatcher. Yes, it was fun to see some Dreamcatcher floating around. Sounds like they changed her voice as well from the video game. So there's a lot of voices that are sort of different. Logan says, what's everybody's favorite Skylander? Mine is Trigger Happy. Yeah, Trigger Happy's fun. He's had a few cameos, although it looks more like he's Trigger Snappy because it looks like he's a little mini version of himself. I think you were saying that yesterday. We've got kind of the sidekicks as characters and stuff like that. All right, let's move over to anger management. This is episode 7. Here's a picture of Chaos and Chef Pepperjack. So the synopsis is Eruptor goes to anger management when his temper puts missions at risk, but he'll need to tap back into his rage to get the Skylanders out of trouble. So now, before we had an episode featuring Stealth Elf, now this is sort of a Eruptor-centric episode where we get to see some jokey jokes of him and Hugo. I thought that was kind of the dullest part of the episode, where he was actually in the anger management, but it was kind of funny to see the before and after and Eruptor's arc. What was your take on sort of this episode?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't sure exactly where they're gonna end up going with it. Like, I didn't expect him to necessarily be cured right away, but I did enjoy the little kind of montage they gave us of his progress through anger management. There are a couple good moments in there, but yeah, it obviously then worked out for the best in the rest of the episode, which is something we've seen already, and I have a feeling we'll see a few more times, that the chaos affects all of the Skylanders except one for some reason, whatever that reason may be.
That was kind of like the first episode, like all the chaos freezes all the Skylanders except for Spyro.
Yep.
And then this one, Eruptor is safe. So yeah, that's going to be kind of a thing, for the Skylanders Academy. It'd be one Skylander to save us all kind of thing. What'd you think of Chef Pepperjack? What did they call it? What did he make? Some sort of like crazy chili? Just gave everybody like the runs and diarrhea or burp attacks or something? Like where was Bad Breath? To come in and save the day and burp out.
There you go. Yeah, I should have brought him back.
Yeah, where was Bad Breath to burp out all this poisonous chili that Chef Pepperjack was making and stuff? Apparently this is his power as cooking. I don't know if we're actually going to see him tossing around some chili bombs and stuff like that. He just wants to be in the in the kitchen there making things. But what'd you think of that? Would you try some Chef Pepperjack's chili concoction?
Hey, apparently it tasted really good. Some of the best chili ever, especially when it's free. Yeah.
Who was that? Was that Spyro? It was like, it's poisoning me, but I still want to eat it. I don't care.
Pop Fizz, I think.
Oh, Pop Fizz. Yes. Yeah, that was a funny thing there. So that was kind of clever. Go on. Yeah.
Yeah. It was an interesting episode again, because I guess it gave us another glimpse of what Skylanders might do in their free time. When they're not. This one wasn't necessarily focused around school or the academy. It was their, I forget what they said, like semi-biannual or something like that, chili cook-off or something like that. And it's just a fun little event they had, and obviously, well, the Doom Raiders found a way to take advantage of it.
Yeah, we got Eon's got a button-up security. Where was Kaboom, for the security there? Or Kaboom might have been taking place. I think he was part of the competition too, so he was downed as well with the Chef Pepperjack's chili surprise there. It'd be funny is if that was like a thing that in the game or something, like a power-up or a hat or like something, a backpack. The Chef, because in Imaginators we get the backpacks. It'd be funny to have like Chef Pepperjack's, poisonous chili or something like that. Okay, so then episode 8 is called Pop Rocks. So this time around we get to see Pop Fizz. One of my favorite Skylanders of all time is Pop Fizz. I'm so glad that they got Bobcat Goldthwait doing the voice in the series. I think he is a treasured voice talent, and it's great to see Pop Fizz around as in the show or something like that. I would have been bummed if he wasn't in that. So this time around, the synopsis is for episode 8, Pop Rocks, is the young Skylanders learn that Pop Fizz used to be in a rock band with Wolfgang, who plans to turn fans at a music festival into an army of drones. So I believe we're going off script here, going off canon. I don't think there's ever been any mention of Pop Fizz and Wolfgang being in a rock band before. Help me out. You're a Skylanders expert, Matt. Here is this canon?
And that's what I was going to say too. I don't think this is something we've heard before. I don't think it's in his backstory at all, especially since Pop Fizz was around long before we got Wolfgang in the picture even. But with that being said, they did throw in a ton of little Easter eggs into this episode that we saw Pop Fizz with his. They even made a joke about it. Is it a tuba or is it a sousaphone? It's not really either, but that was reminiscent of our Big Bubble Pop Fizz, the figure we have.
Oh yes, yeah, the big giant thing there with the Big Bubble Pop Fizz. Yeah, good catch.
So they had that in there. What was the? If you've played Skylanders Imaginators and you made it through the Golden Arcade, you remember that?
Yeah. Yes, I've completed the story. I'm waiting to see what you're going to say.
So there was Sal. Sal was in the Golden Arcade, and we found out he is a relation of Wolfgang.
Okay.
And I believe the place where he was actually performing was mentioned in their backstory then, with Pop Fizz and Wolfgang.
Okay.
So like they tied it all together very nicely, I believe.
Yeah, there was definitely some fun Easter eggs. Ramir and Chad says Pop Fizz and Wolfgang in a band. Yeah, what was the name of their band? Do you remember offhand? I was watching this
Pop in the Gang.
Pop in the Gang. Yes, I was watching this late at night. This binge watching thing is just kind of messing me up here. I'm trying to absorb as much as I can there and everything. And it was fun to see the whole crowd. We got like the Mabu. There's a lot of Mabu in the show. They're like the extras. Whenever you need some extras, just call in some Mabus. And some of the voices, I gotta say, for some of these guest Mabu guys, like the manager guy that's backstage, actually doing a great job there too. Shout outs to them. What about of course, Chaos it seems like he's going to be in every episode. We got some funky pre-Halloween costumes with Chaos with hair and Glumshanks with some wacky sideburns. I'm showing an image here. What do you think of sort of their little shtick? They weren't like the main villains, so they're kind of like the sidekick villains of this episode.
Yeah, that was interesting to say the least. I guess it made me think of all the other bad villain disguises we've had, or even hero disguises. It was almost like Superman and Clark Kent. When he puts on his glasses, he's Clark Kent, and no one can tell he's Superman. But they were basically doing the same thing with their disguises, like add some sideburns, and all of a sudden no one will recognize me.
Yeah, that's a funny thing. They get the glasses like Clark Kent. I would say I enjoyed. Pop Rocks. It was cool to have some music. It's a little weird seeing like Wolfgang now. He's got the guitar and he's got the bow. They've kind of changed some of his dynamics with his weapons. Did that help or hurt your viewing experience at all? Having a guitar. I mean, did he shoot arrows at all, or is it just like a guitar in the show? A guitar harp.
You see, and that was the weird part. It's like he kept playing it like a guitar but they referred to it as his bone harp, and so like I don't know. Make up your mind, I guess. Like guitar or harp, make him play one or the other. I really don't care which. Make it a rock harp. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it's. I don't know. It is what it is. It's a little confused at this moment.
I'm just imagining like the table where the creative table of the show, and there's like the Activision people who know all about the game. Like, well, no, he had a guitar, but we're switching over to bowcaster, and the guys making the cartoon are like, well, no, it'd be cooler if we had a guitar. Forget that bowcaster thingy. And there's now we're sort of we're witnessing things kind of crossing over. But I'll take it. But one thing I thought, a big missed opportunity. I thought, now we had an episode, of course, featuring Pop Fizz, and he has to sort of like get into a situation where everybody's mindless drones. Again, the same theme of everybody's mindless drone, except for Pop Fizz. He's got to save the day. That seems like we're going to get that a recurring theme for, Skylanders Academy. But I thought we had a missed opportunity. I thought, wow, everybody's turned into a drone. Maybe even Pop Fizz 2 will be a drone, and the way to escape would be beast mode, and he just rages and goes crazy and takes down Wolfgang. And sounds like you're on the same page with me, Matt. What, we got a missed opportunity here.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen yet. Like, Pop Fizz has definitely been messing around with his potions and giving us new varieties on potions and different things he can do with them. But yeah, we still haven't seen any beast mode. I don't know what's up with that. Why they're holding on for some bigger events, or I don't know what the plan is, but maybe that's season 2.
I want to see like Kaboom. I want to see a scene like an X-Men scene where Kaboom picks up Pop Fizz and throws him at Chaos, and Pop Fizz transforms into beast mode in the air and just like rages and goes crazy, sort of like Colossus and Wolverine with the cannonball special, whatever they call that. That would be great. So cool. All right. Anything from Pop Rocks that we're missing? I feel like Chaos's mom. I forget what episode. Didn't Chaos's mom show up in, was it Pop Rocks or Space Invaders? One of these we get to see Cassandra, Chaosandra, whatever they're calling her.
Yeah. We've seen her a couple of times now. She's been in a couple of episodes. I know I think we kind of forgot to mention that yesterday. We saw her at least once, I know. But yeah, she pops up, and yeah, she's actually friends with some of the Doom Raiders. Like, who knew? They have a history. But yeah, I think that'll be an interesting dynamic to bring in Chaos's mom from time to time and see not only how Chaos interacts with her, but I always find it interesting that she's never too worried about the world domination like Chaos is. She's just kind of doing her own thing, living her own life.
Yeah, I actually, now that we've seen a little more Chaos's mom and Chaos, I'm actually curious, is Chaos's lair, like, do they live on Skylands, or are they, like, on a separate island? Like, have they shown the map of, like, where they live in relation?
They haven't shown, I don't think, both of them at the same time. They have mentioned once that in Skylanders Academy that Chaos has, like, a more or less a cloaking device, so the Skylanders can't find out where he's living, where his house is, and that's I think it was one of the episodes recently when the Doom Raiders joined him, and that's why they agreed to it, is because his place was hidden.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm curious, the show's definitely got me intrigued, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen. I love the fact that it's continuing. Characters are sort of appearing and then kind of continuing. We still don't know who's trapped, in the jail cell that hasn't been revealed yet. Some people have already mentioned in comments a big character cameo that's coming up. I don't want to mention it here because I don't want to spoil it if you haven't watched it yet. I'm excited for that. Ramir says Beast Mode for Pop Fizz. The Toy Movie Game Bro says maybe Beast Mode will be in Season 2. Yes, Eric Rogers was saying everything will be twice as better, so maybe we'll get Beast Mode. Maybe we'll get all that stuff. The Dragon Critic is in chat, says, hey. Starlina is in chat, says Chaos's mother, she treats Glumshanks better, just like Swap Force. Yeah, it seems like Glumshanks gets the little motherly love with Chaosandra. If I'm saying, am I pronouncing it right? Is that the way you say it? Chaosandra?
I believe that's how it's spelled, but she makes a joke about that. And I think when she's talking with Golden Queen, and she's like, yeah, it's just Cassandra. It's like a silent O or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of the show has a lot of show has a lot of play on words, like play that kind of tease about plumbing and saying things like that. I'm learning so much about the English language watching Skylanders Academy. I'd be curious to see how this translates. If this, I'm assuming this is like going to be an international thing. I'd be curious to see if some of these jokes and things are changed for
That's
international.
A good point. I never thought about it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see. If you guys, I know we got a lot of people in UK. If you guys are bilingual and somehow watching this in like a different language, let us know if the jokes are similar or the same. So, okay, so Portal Masters, that was a quick look at Skylanders Academy episode 6. 7 and 8. I want to thank Matt again for jumping in and helping me walk us through some of his reactions. We're probably gonna do some more of these. I'm probably gonna try and finish off the show as fast as I can, in addition to doing all the other stuff that I got going on with CoinOpTV. So, and Matt, of course, you want to make sure you check out his YouTube channel, youtube.com/SCL Matt. And thanks a bunch for joining me for the live stream. Thanks a bunch to all you Portal Masters and Portal Mistresses. That doesn't sound right. You female Portal Masters. I don't know. For some reason, Portal Masters sounds like a male thing, and I want to include males and females with my phrases. So anyway, you guys will be back again live streaming. I'm going to be live streaming with John talking about Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. We're going to do a review of that tomorrow, Sunday at 12 p.m. Pacific Coast time. So make sure you check that out for CoinOpTV. We'll see you next time.